This week, for this episode of Netflix No, we reviewed the movie All's Fair in Love.
Fair spelled F-A-I-R-E, of course.
Yes.
So we decided to dress up a little bit. I'm a little bit of a jester, obviously.
I've got this hair thing, so
This has a name.
I don't know what I am.
So All's Fair in Love looked to me when I was about to go watch it kind of like a chick flick that you might watch on like ABC Family and it'd be really cheesy, and it kind of wasn't really that.
Yeah. The overall concept is there are two main characters, Will and Kate. Right, that was her name, Kate?
Yeah.
Kate. Kate is an aspiring actress. She really was like getting a law degree, but she didn't want to do that. Her parents wanted her to do that.
It was so weirdly forced. The first scene, she was like sitting with an interview and then like sweating, and they're like, yeah, money, 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 money. Awful editing, by the way. Money, money, money. And she's like, I can't do this, and like storms out.
But strips down and like changes her clothes.
It was so strange.
It was weird.
And not needed.
Yeah,
I don't
didn't
know.
need to be there. You could have just skipped to her being like, at the Renaissance Fair. So she ends up being an actress kind of at this fair. She's the fetch girl. She's a peasant.
It's a thing. And then there's Will, who looks like he might be 42 years
Thank
old
you.
with no chin, but
it would have been okay. Will is supposedly like in his like last or second to last year of high school.
No, college.
Is it? Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure on the thing on Netflix it said high school, but I thought it would make a lot more sense if it was college.
It seemed like college with the professor and everything.
It seemed like college.
Netflix might have gotten it wrong.
Netflix might.
So something is up there, but I definitely think he was in college.
Okay, because that's what I wanted, but I was really confused. Cause I thought
I mean,
Netflix
even
was,
then
like,
he looks
high school.
old.
Yeah.
Whatever. He's like, he has like some football scholarship. He's like really good at football.
He can throw a ball really far.
He looks like he's 42 with no chin, as I mentioned. His acting, the entire movie was the same note the entire time. Like nothing phased him. He never got like I guess he got embarrassed and stuff, but literally everything.
Not really.
He kind of just laughed at everything.
He did.
Everything
and
was
he
a joke
called the
to
one
him.
guy weird guy.
Everything was a joke to him, and it was kind of funny sometimes. Like sometimes it made it like really humorous because everyone else was like so outlandish, and he was kind of like, "This is hilarious."
He was like honestly the most grounded in reality.
But it was kind of weird because he felt so out of place in the movie at the same time.
Yeah. However, that being said, the girl Kate, she's played by
Christina Ricci. I don't know. Ricci, something like that.
Whatever.
She played Wednesday Addams, and also Penelope and Penelope.
I really thought her acting was awful.
Yeah, me too.
In this movie. It was really terrible, and the thing that really killed me is that she's like, ends up doing this Romeo and Juliet scene, and she's supposed to be a really great actress, so I thought we would see like a shift in her like character there, because you know, she's going from in not acting to acting, and it was the same thing, like you said with Will, it's the kind of one note, and she was a really crappy actress. Like, I was not impressed.
What I kind of did like is even though both of them by themselves were not super great, together they had really good chemistry, and I think that's because they were actually, I think, engaged at one point in real life. I looked it up. He's super tall and she's super tiny, and that was super cute.
Yeah.
And they made jokes about it. She was all like, okay, no, hold on, you're humongous, and he had to like lift her up to kiss her.
And that was cute.
It was cute. Lots of little things that they did together.
And then later in the movie, he calls her a koala, and he calls himself a giraph, and I died of cuteness, because that part was real cute.
It was cute. It was in a song, so.
Yeah.
I also have a lot of screen caps, so like we can post. I might just post images. I took like 100 screen caps, so there's gonna be images all over this, so you guys will see the entire movie basically as we talk about it.
Yes, you're welcome.
There was this guy named Rank.
Okay, first off, let me point out that confused the hell out of me for the first like half the movie, basically almost all of the movie, because throughout the movie they're talking about status.
Yeah.
Like they're talking about the status of
the peasants versus like the royals. The royals.
And every time they said rank, I kept thinking like the rank of people in like the social status like thing, and it wasn't, and I had to like remind myself that it was that guy's name, and that was just really confusing for me. It was probably not for anyone else, but
there were a lot of guys in this movie, and every single guy in this movie creeped me out. On some level. There was like the horny guy, which looks like this, but with a little unicorn that would hand puppet, and it was creepy. And then there was Rank, and he had like the super British accent and super creepy and like way over the top all the time. Except the one scene where he got like a random phone call in the middle of like his evil speech, and he like got rid of the British accent. He's so down to earth. He's like, no, this is how you teach it. You gotta like record twice or something. And it was
and then he
so
made some
funny.
comment about the modern age, which was really funny in context because he's like in this like
really
Renaissance.
Turned around the whole movie for me, just that part. Like I don't know why, but I started really liking it then. But
I liked the movie pretty much throughout. The beginning was awkward. I will acquiesce that. I see how definitely a lot of the male characters are creepy, but I kind of liked them. Rank was definitely the creepiest. He creeped me out.
He got better as it went on,
He did.
though, and I don't know why. I don't know what happens, but he did get better.
One thing that I really loved about Will's character, though, is the fact that he was like totally about women's rights.
Oh my god.
And it was so great.
Yes, no, he asked permission to kiss her during the acting scene. Killed me.
I loved that.
I loved it so much. Like, he's like, I can, because everyone was like, yeah, kiss her, and he didn't just like give in to peer pressure. She's like, okay, can I kiss you? And she said yes, and that was a thing.
And it was great. And then also later, when he and Kate are like on this pier and like kind of their underwear, I guess, like the corset and like bloomers for Kate, and he was in, I don't even know.
I think we saw his chest, so.
Yeah. Because they had like fallen in the water and everything, and they were letting all their clothes dry out, and Rank comes by on boat with his other guy in tow, and he's like, I'm not leaving her alone with you. Like, no, you're really creepy. And there were a lot of times that he was basically just like, to Rank, that saying, you really can't touch her without her permission. There was the one point where, because Rank had like grabbed her hand and like rubbed it against his cheek.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, that's really creepy. You can't just grab her and like have her touch you. That's not okay. Yeah. And I was just like, Will,
he was great at that. But the women themselves were not as good being feminist, especially when it came to Jeanette, which I'm gonna say her name is.
Yes.
Because they like basically called her, they were slut shaming her a lot in the fact that because she would get any man she wanted and like could because of her power or something, and that the men just couldn't say no and couldn't resist. Like somehow they were super innocent and they had no choice in the matter.
However, it was really confusing because from what we saw of Will and interacting with Jeanette, 'cause he's supposed to pleasure her.
Yeah.
He like paints her toenails and brushes her hair.
But I'm pretty sure that's all that anybody happens with her. And
that's
I think
what I
that's
was like,
the point they're trying to make was like, and I think that's what the movie was going for. Like, you might think someone is being like really, really dirty or whorish or whatever you want to call it, but really you don't actually know anything about them, so stop judging.
Yeah.
And I thought that she was portrayed as like an alcoholic, which is kind of weird.
However, I do think another point they could have been trying to make with that is you don't need to have sex or like anything like that to like please someone.
Yeah.
Like it's making you aware of like different kinds of pleasure, I guess.
And it was really interesting. And I kind of liked the way Will was just kind of like, all right, I'll paint your toenails, whatever.
Yeah. And then he started talking about like this little piggy went to market and stuff.
Just like orgasming or something.
Yeah,
it was
strange. Really weird.
But it was interesting and okay movie.
The other girl, Kate's cousin, who like got her a job at the fair.
Who had a really pretty dress and I really wanted it.
She has a little bit of a stronger female character because at the end we found out that she cursed, oh god, what's his name? Will's friend.
Her ex-boyfriend, now boyfriend / they got married at the end.
Yeah. Spoiler!
He played Shaggy in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah! Yeah! Oh, I knew I liked him for a reason.
He was creeping me out.
I loved the crap out of him.
He wore a chastity belt for like half the movie.
Because he was scared his penis was gonna fall off.
It was great, and he like put goat urine on himself because he was scared his penis was gonna fall off.
And it was great. Anywho, but she had like put this spell on him because she's like, duh, we're supposed to be together, silly. Like, I knew that. You're just being dumb. And
it was cute.
It was.
They were pretty cute.
One of the really nice things about this movie that's very different from a lot of the other movies we've watched, and I felt like this, it didn't have a lot of really crude humor.
Yeah.
And
it
I
had
feel
some
like
penis jokes. Well, whatever reason, for every time they referred to a penis, they called it the weirdest words ever. Like,
yeah, they did.
What are they, like, your willy or something, or like your ding dong, and
ding dong was one of them.
Like these are supposed to be like college guys saying this, and nobody says that in college.
And also after Rank comes up to the guy who played Shaggy, and he's like, oh well, I heard your whatever might be falling off, whatever, your phallus. That's the word he used, phallus.
That sounds like something he would say though.
Yeah, it does. Your phallus.
And Rank had these like 3 guys he just like carried around with him. The like small guy and like the average weird Asian guy and then the big guy, and I just why?
Yeah. They were like his entourage, basically.
His evil henchmen or something. It was
Right.
just strange.
There was a midget in the movie, because of course there was.
And Kate had a dog.
Yeah,
Kind
Kate
of
had a
came into
dog.
play at the end when she was like forced to act on stage with Rank.
That scene upset me so much.
Yeah. They were holding the dog hostage, like we're gonna hit him with like an arrow or something.
With a crossbow.
With a crossbow.
And I was
basically.
like, okay, that's so unrealistic. Like,
the entire thing was super unrealistic. I liked
Yeah.
the fair though, because they filmed it in California, I think.
Mhm.
Somewhere like northern California, some Renaissance festival there. But
Yeah.
it was cool. Okay, can I talk real fast about the lighting in this movie?
sure.
Beginning half the movie, the lighting was awful. Everything like looked really weird, and like the audio, the entire movie was kind of like okay, and it kind of felt like it only had like 3 microphones the entire thing to work with. The lighting was so weird, and then randomly, halfway through, in some scene in the tent with Kate and her cousin or whatever, the lighting gets beautiful. And like the rest of the movie, there's some sort of lighting budget, and I'm like, where did this come from? Why is there suddenly good lighting? Why is it suddenly awesome? And then I think it was like the second half was way better than the first because of that too, and it just added to it. And you'll see the screen caps that I post, but oh my god, the lighting. It was weird.
Maybe she'll do comparison screen caps, because I don't know. Yeah, I feel like the movie, like I said, had a lot of potential to put in a lot of really crude humor, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And I think that made it a lot better.
There were no like unnecessarily topless women. Actually,
Yes!
there were no topless women.
There were no topless
They
women.
showed like intimate scenes together and all kinds of other stuff, and they didn't need to show topless women.
Yes, and it was great. And Will was topless at one point, but it made sense because they had just fallen in the water.
Mhm.
And
if they had both been topless, I would have been okay with it because they were both topless. It wasn't
Yes.
like just a woman being topless for no reason. Like I'm not against
Right.
topless women. I just not for no reason. Like why?
Yeah.
Just
So-
let me know why.
Oh, by the way, the reason Will is at this fair, because he like plays football and everything, and I'm sure
So
you're probably
Cedric the
thinking,
Entertainer
Yeah.
is his professor, and he's like,
No, not Cedric the Entertainer. He's a knight. His professor's a knight. He's like the queen's right-hand man.
no, Cedric the Entertainer, the actor.
Oh,
In
I
real
was like,
life,
what?
who currently is the host of
I
Who
don't.
Wants to Be a Millionaire?
That
Sorry.
sure.
He is currently the host of that. Cedric the Entertainer is in this movie randomly. He's the professor, and he's in a night there, and it's really weird, and he's like, you've never come to any of my classes, and you want to get a pass because you're a football player? No, sports, LOL, I hate sports. You actually have to come work at this Renaissance Festival if you want to pass, and that's literally it.
Yeah, for 3 weeks.
For 3 weeks. It was weird,
Yeah.
but a lot happens in 3 weeks, I guess.
I really like Will's character. A lot, actually. He's a really great character because
His friends stop by at one point when he's there, and he like gets, okay. He gets
Yes.
thrown into the mud, and he comes up, and his shirt is completely
Yeah.
clean. And I was like, why? You were just in the mud.
it
for,
was
like,
wet. His shirt was wet when he came back up,
It
but that was
was?
it. Only
Wow.
slightly. But I was confused by that too. I was
Like, why is
"Sir."
there no mud on you? He literally had to get like all the Royals to step on him through the mud because there's this mud pile and whatever, and his friends were all there laughing at him, and his friends are like don't look like real football players
No,
at
they
all,
don't.
and they talk weirdly, and I'm just like, why are you here?
There's the one guy that's really fat, because of course there's the one guy that's really fat. I'm losing this thing. Sorry.
It's okay.
And yeah, but Will, he like recognizes his friends and like acknowledges them and like is clearly a little bit embarrassed by it,
But
but
like barely.
he overcomes it. And he like moves on with his life, and he kind of accepts life at the fair as what it is. He doesn't really get into it as much as everyone else does with all the these and thous. He's really bad at Shakespeare
That was
language.
so funny when he was acting, and then the one
Can I kisseth your moutheth?
and the other guy's like, no, you've been hit with a silence spell. You no longer talk.
Yeah. So, yeah, Will is a really, really great character.
He plays piano, which kind of happens like really well.
like super well, because his dad
we
was
went on
like
this really
a
cute
famous
date where they
pianist.
did all these Renfest things at night. It was cute.
It was
a cute movie overall. It just took a while for me to really get into it, but once I did, it was worth it.
Yeah.
So I guess overall, what would you give this on the O scale?
I'd probably only give it 2 O's.
You know what? I kind of agree with that. 2th Oeths.
Yay and verily.
Words, words, words. I'm not Shakespearean.
But that was Hamlet.
Was it?
Words,
Cool.
words, words is totally in Hamlet.
Oh my god, yes.
What do you say, my lord? Words, words, words.
Okay. We will see you next week. We're sorry this was a day late. We had a snowstorm and we could not access our camera. So this is going on 1 day late, but we will have another movie for you ready next Monday. Let us know what you want to watch.
Right. Have a good one.
Bye. Marco, polio, Netflix.
No, Leo.